My friend, if you've ever felt a tug you can't explain, consider this your confirmation. You were chosen on purpose. Not as a placeholder in a crowded world, but as a soul entrusted with work that requires courage. Your steps are not solitary. When the road dips into shadow, the lamp in your hand doesn't burn out, it's quietly refilled. That's why certain doors fell guided, why you survived nights you thought would end you. Destiny isn't a lottery ticket, it's a companionship. You are accompanied through the challenge, not airdropped at the finish line. Greatness here isn't fame, it's fidelity doing the next faithful thing while a presence keeps pace at your shoulder. When fear asks, who do you think you are? The answer is simple, not an accident. You are the intention of a loving mind that wastes nothing, not your talents, not your tears. So breathe, let your stride lengthen. If the path curves, follow. If the grade steepens, lean. You are not walking toward meaning, you're walking with it. And with every mile, the quiet promise repeats, I am here. Keep going. Love that repairs what broke. Before your first question, your name was already written, etched where time can't smudge it. That's why love keeps circling back to you, patient and relentless. It remembers every room where you swallowed pain, every silence that hurt worse than words. The past tried to appoint itself your narrator. Love rescinds that role. Broken hearts can be mended. Scar tissue can be softened. Not by denial, but by a presence strong enough to hold the shards without cutting. You don't have to rehearse the old film reel tonight. You've seen that scene. You know that ending. Let the projector cool while the lights come up on now. There's no virtue in picking at closed wounds to prove you're honest. Honesty also looks like rest. It looks like standing in sunlight long enough for your eyes to adjust. If you wonder where the healer was during the hardest hour, hear this, nearer than your breath, carrying what your body could not. The invitation isn't pretend it didn't happen. It's let me touch what it bruised. When love says forgiven, it includes the memories, so they stop biting and start teaching. Living here, ready for what's next. Today is not a waiting room, it's a field already seeded. Yes, there were winters, but beneath the frost, roots were busy. That's why the air feels different lately, why small coincidences keep aligning like stepping stones. Keep your attention here. When you show up to the present with both hands open, blessings have somewhere to land. Dreams you stored on the high shelf? Dust them off. The goals you almost apologized for? Name them out loud. Your family's laughter will sound fuller again, not because nothing goes wrong, but because hope has moved back in. Even your body remembers joy. Energy returns, appetite for life stirs, sleep softens. None of this is fantasy. It's the ordinary miracle of a soul realigned with truth. Make room for it. Clear one drawer, 1 hour, one habit. Celebrate tiny fulfillments like they're previews of the feature, because they are. Don't rush. Expectancy isn't anxiety. It's the calm confidence that good things keep appointments. If you need a sentence to carry, try this. I will meet the day as if it intends to bless me. Often, that's all faith needs to open the next door. Laying down the old chains. Forgiven means finished. Not minimized, not excused, finished. The lock has clicked. You don't owe yesterday another explanation. If someone insists on treating you like a prisoner of a crime you already confessed, you're allowed to step away. Some environments confuse control with care, using sacred words to keep souls small. That is not holiness, it's fear in costume. You are a free being, free to leave rooms where dignity shrinks, free to learn without being shamed, free to be corrected without being crushed. Freedom doesn't make you reckless, it makes you responsible. It teaches you to guard the liberty placed in your hands from anyone, including your inner critic who twists love into leverage. Ask yourself, who recognizes your worth without a sales pitch? Sit closer to them. Bless those who can't and walk on. Boundaries are not betrayal. They're stewardship of a life God already unchained. When old voices call you back to carry what's not yours, answer with silence and keep moving. The shepherd who found you will not lead you back to cages. Grace that rescued you will not partner with the shame that tried to own you. Choosing safety, choosing change. If you needed a sign to protect your people, this is it. Children, your literal ones or the tender parts inside you, deserve air that doesn't sting. Toxic spaces don't announce themselves, they drain quietly. Notice the fatigue after every conversation, the dread on Sunday nights, the way your laughter got small. Change begins with a boundary and grows into a new address. It's not cruel to leave what's harmful, it's courageous. And yes, it costs something, familiar patterns, convenient excuses, the numbing predictability of pain. But cycles break where someone chooses to stand up in the middle and say, it stops with me. You are strong enough to be that person. Not perfect, strong. Take inventory. What agreements have you made with suffering that no longer fit? What rooms teach you to doubt what God already called good? Walk out with kindness. Close the door without slamming it. It's okay to feel wobbly. Freedom has training wheels at first. Hold the handlebars, breathe, and keep pedaling. The one who loves you doesn't ask for heroic leaps, only the next faithful step toward health. Your future will thank you. So will your family. Paid for, so ask big. Love didn't just sympathize, it sacrificed. I have paid the ultimate price with my own lifeblood is not poetry, it's receipt. That's why you're invited to ask. Not with timid clauses, but with the boldness of someone who knows the bill is covered. Call upon me is a standing promise, not a limited time offer. Miracles are not magic tricks. They are mercy moving at the speed of trust. So bring the impossible. Name the jammed door, the terminal timeline, the desert budget, the relationship on life support. Then do the most daring thing, believe. Faith isn't denial, it's decision, refusing to let stagnation preach the final sermon. Pack for the promised land while you're still living in tents. Update the resume. Register the LLC. Apologize first. Plant an orchard. This isn't hype, it's obedience to hope. You've been invited out of the cul-de-sac of maybe someday into the wide road of now we begin. If doubt asks for a guarantee, point to the cross, the down payment already made. Your role? Open your mouth and ask, open your hands and receive, open your life and walk where grace is already clearing space. Seeing yourself through God's eyes. Before you measure yourself by old reports, try this. Borrow God's gaze for a moment. In that light, you are not a problem to be fixed, but a person to be loved. The door is open, always open, and you are not a guest on probation. Ask, and you will receive isn't a slogan, it's an atmosphere. You are allowed to want more than survival. You are allowed to pray bigger than get me through the week. When discouragement says sit down, stand up and ask anyway. Heaven does not run out of bread. The table is long, your chair is set. Maybe you doubt you have a role in any of this, yet purpose keeps tapping your shoulder in the grocery line, on your commute, in the quiet minutes before sleep. Pay attention. The small nudge to text a friend, the idea that won't stop glowing, the piece that makes no sense. These are hints. You are part of something larger than your calendar. Don't bow to the story that says you are late, lacking, or left out. You are held, supplied, and sent. Walk like someone expected because you are, giving God the weight and learning the rhythm. You don't have to hold the sky up. Every tear has already been counted. Every sigh has been translated into prayer. Place the weight where it belongs. Name the fear, the bill, the diagnosis, the conversation you're avoiding, and hand it over without theatrics. Do it daily like a rhythm. Morning, open palms. Evening, open heart. Prayer is not performance, it's alignment. When you tune to that frequency, guidance stops sounding vague and starts feeling practical. A name to call, a habit to retire, a verse that won't let go. Protection is not paranoia, it's presence. Angels at the edges, warnings before the pit, peace in the ambulance. Build a simple rule of life. One honest prayer when you wake, one gratitude before you sleep, one act of kindness on purpose. Watch how clarity rises. We keep looking for neon signs. Wisdom usually arrives as a quiet now or not yet. If you're asking, how will I know? You'll know because the next right step will carry a lightness that fear can't counterfeit. Put your questions on the table. Take God's hand for the day. Repeat tomorrow. That is how burdens turn into blessings you can actually hold. Your name, your shield, your authority. You are not nameless in a vast crowd. You are a child of the Almighty. That title is not ceremonial, it's legal authority. It means opposition cannot write the final chapter. It means your home is not unguarded and your future is not unprotected. Think of your family as a garden under watch. Storms may pass through, but the boundary holds. When the night grows heavy, remember the small math of faith. A mustard seed can move what looks immovable. You don't need a warehouse of courage, just the courage to speak once more. Say the quiet prayer. Bless your house out loud. Refuse the narratives of doom that ask for rent in your imagination. When fear arrives with evidence, let hope answer with memory. The time you were carried, the bill that was paid in an impossible week, the peace that sat with you in the waiting room. This isn't denial, it's defiance against despair. Lift your chin. You are not combating the dark alone. The Spirit fences your perimeter. Mercy patrols the halls. If you need a sentence tonight, borrow this one. In God's name, my family is covered, my mind is clear, my next step is sure. Releasing hostility, returning to what matters. Resentment is a tireless accountant. It keeps ledgers you were never meant to balance. Set the book down. Forgiveness doesn't excuse a wound, it ends its jurisdiction. Pray for those who hurt you, not to pretend nothing happened, but to cut the rope tying you to that moment. Your peace is worth more than being right in a debate that no longer deserves your breath. Reclaim your attention. The trivial will volunteer all day to steal it. Gossip, scrolling outrage, comparisons in costume. Turn back toward promises that can actually fund your life. Grace for today, strength for the task, meaning that holds under pressure. When anger knocks, answer with boundaries and blessing. I won't stay where I'm diminished, and I won't curse what I've left. Your spirit knows the way home. To prayer over performance, to scripture over sound bites, to presence over proving. Let go of the weight that isn't yours. Pick up the assignment that is to love well, to act justly, to walk humbly. A heart uncluttered by vengeance becomes a room where wisdom can speak at a normal volume. In that quiet, you'll hear the next clear instruction, and the path will simplify. Home as a workshop of grace. Your household is not a courtroom, it's a workshop. Everyone is learning. The rough edges are proof of life, not grounds for a verdict. Believe that something incredible is already budding under the surface. A softer tone from a teenager, a shared joke in a marriage that survived a long winter, a small courage in a parent who's tired. Treat those green shoots like treasure. Correction still matters, but trade volume for vision. Before you fix, breathe. Ask for words that heal without hiding the truth. Replace labels with invitations. Here's who I believe you are. Here's what we can practice. The atmosphere you create becomes the teacher your loved ones remember. Confession travels farther on kindness than on threats. Speak less like a critic, more like a coach. Celebrate micro-turns, a calm conversation that used to explode, an apology offered without prompting, a chore done the first time. These are not small, they are signals. Pray over your rooms. Bless the table. Laugh on purpose. Expect good news. Peace is not the absence of noise. It's the presence of love strong enough to hold the noise without breaking. Let your home rehearse the future you're asking God to build. Endurance, authority, and the prize ahead. You are not being asked to outrun your strength. You're being asked to keep moving in the strength already provided. The prize is not for the fastest, it's for the faithful. One more step when quitting sounds reasonable. One more prayer when the line feels dead. One more yes to hope when the forecast predicts rain. And as you walk, remember your authority. You were not left defenseless in a hostile world. You were handed power to tread on what once terrified you. Serpents, scorpions, the quiet lies that say nothing will change. Name them, then step. Courage is a muscle. It grows under repetition. When fatigue tells you this is pointless, point to the promise. Harvest follows sowing, and you have been sowing for a long time. Your future is not an accident waiting to happen. It's a garden you're cultivating with God. Picture the finish line, less as a stage and more as a table, with people you love laughing under warm light. That's where this perseverance leads, to joy you don't have to perform for, to rest you don't have to earn, to a crown that fits because it was measured for you from the start. Keep going. Part 13, Healer, Caretaker, Provider. If you've ever wondered what sustains you when your own strength is spent, hear this. God heals, tends, and provides in ways that look ordinary until you look back. Healing isn't only the disappearing of pain, it's the return of courage to try again. Care isn't only rescue in a crisis, it's the nudge to drink water, to sleep, to call a friend. Provision isn't only a check in the mail, it's an idea at 2 a.m., a stranger's kindness, a door that opens after 100 polite refusals. Let this sow an unshakable belief you are not navigating alone. Growth happens in inches, like a tree adding rings in silence. Yet one day you notice your reactions are gentler, your laughter easier, your hope quicker to rise. That too is a miracle. Become a witness to it. Smile like someone who has seen light win. Carry your faith like a lantern others can borrow. When you bless your food, your day, your work, you're not being naive. You're aligning with a source that has never run dry. Say it under your breath, especially when fear is loud. I am held. I am helped. I am being healed. Then walk forward as if that's true, because it is. Seen, known, and carried. God does not miss the small details, the breath you hold before bad news, the tear you swipe before anyone notices, the humor you use to keep from cracking. Tomorrow is not a rumor, is already bright in his hands. Faith becomes both shield and sword, a shield that stops the flaming arrows of what if, a sword that cuts through the lie. This will never change. Your story is not stuck on the worst page. The pen has not left the paper. Refuse the identity handed to you by failure or fatigue. You are not your last mistake, your latest scarcity, your loudest critic. When the night shouts, answer with memory. The timepiece found you in a waiting room, the bill paid at the last minute, the apology you thought would never come. Let these become your case files against despair. Pray short, honest prayers. Help me, hold me, guide me. Strength meets honesty faster than it meets performance. And when you're too tired to pray, sit still. Being carried counts as progress. The one who sees your battles also counts you're brave. Sleep like someone guarded. Wake like someone sent. The future is not your enemy. It's a canvas already sketching hope. Restfulness and nearness. Come to me, I will give you rest, is not a sentiment, it's an instruction. Rest is an act of faith, a refusal to believe the world collapses if you stop for breath. In stillness, you discover presence, not a concept, but a companionship that fills a room like quiet music. Grace moves in, undeserved, unexhausted, strong enough to carry what you keep dropping. God fights for you in ways both seen and secret, closing a mouth that would wound you, rerouting a schedule to spare you, planting courage where panic planned to live. Protection isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's the meeting that gets canceled. Comfort isn't always words. Sometimes it's the weight leaving your chest for no clear reason. Strength returns like tide, steady on schedule, even when you forgot the moon was pulling for you. Practice receiving without apology. Whisper, thank you, over small mercies, hot coffee, a safe drive, a text that arrives when it matters. Let gratitude widen your capacity for joy. You are not required to earn the oxygen of your soul. Breathe deeply. Lay down the weapon of overwork. Walk lighter. The shepherd is near, and the path ahead is kinder than the path behind. Dare, ask, seek with your whole heart. God is not limited by the math of your circumstances. The impossible is His normal workday, healing what medicine can't name, restoring what bitterness declared finished, transforming what you filed under always. If you've quieted your dreams to make disappointment hurt less, let them speak again. You've been called by name, personally, precisely, not as a number in a spiritual crowd. Answer with your whole heart. Ask boldly and act humbly. Seek not because you are lost, but because you are led. Your prayers can be practical. Give me wisdom for this meeting. Show me where to start. Teach me how to love here. Watch for the way guidance arrives, through scripture that glows, through counsel that rings true, through peace that settles like a verdict. When fear lists all the reasons to wait, let faith ask one question. What if God is already moving? Then cooperate. Send the email. Enroll in the class. Forgive the debt. Plant a seed where the ground looks stubborn. The point is not to impress heaven, it's to agree with it. You don't need perfect clarity to begin, only loyalty to the next lighted step. A lamp for others, a name that holds. You are not only rescued, you are repurposed. Loved without measure, you become a measure of love in a world starving for it. A beacon doesn't argue with the dark, it shines. Shine by being unhurried when hurry is fashionable, kind when sarcasm gets the laughs, faithful when quitting would be applauded. Greatness in this kingdom is brightness without boasting, light that helps others find the path, warmth that makes home feel possible again. Let your true name steady you, not disappointment, not too late, but beloved, chosen, sent. When comparison whispers dim down, remember who lit you and why. You were not designed for a dimmer switch. Your courage to bless openly will give permission to the timid heart near you. Speak benedictions into crowded rooms and private kitchens. May peace rest here, may hope rise here. Notice the lonely. Carry extra patience to the checkout line. Offer eye contact like a gift. None of this is small. The light you carry turns heads toward God without a single argument. And on days you feel flicker weak, borrow the flame of community. That's what church, friendship, and family are for: shared fire, shared strength, shared song. Inner stillness, outer guidance. Transformation begins inside, the storm quieting in your chest before the clouds clear outside your window. God equips you to master your emotions, not by numbing them, but by naming them and handing them over. Anger becomes boundary, fear becomes alertness, grief becomes love with nowhere to go yet. Under his covering, peace proves stronger than provocation. You will feel it in real time, the pause that saves the day, the soft answer that turns wrath aside, the decision to step back instead of strike back. Protection isn't only against obvious enemies, it's against the subtle traps that waste your life. Cynicism, distraction, secret contempt. Trust, loyalty, and wholehearted devotion are not heavy chains. They're the compass that keeps you from walking in circles. Keep them close. When the crossroads comes, you won't need a billboard. Your spirit will recognize the path that carries peace without apology. Pray before you reply. Bless before you confront. Choose clarity over drama, covenant over convenience. The one who leads you does not speak in riddles to those who stay near. And as you keep pace, steady, surrendered, you will find yourself guarded without hiding, courageous without noise, guided as surely as if a hand were on your shoulder. Freedom announced, victory assured. Hear it like a bell across your life. You are free. Not conditionally, not someday, now. Shame no longer gets to speak last. Guilt no longer gets to steer. Freedom is not vague. It looks like canceled debts in your heart, like a spine that straightens when old accusations walk in. Call your liberty by name. Say, I am not who the wound says I am. Then start walking toward the harbor of triumph promised to you. Victory is not a mood, it's a covenant. It may still rain on the way, but the destination is sealed. Let your choices agree with that future. Release the habit that hands your peace back to the jailer. Choose the conversation that opens a window. Take the small risk that aligns with truth. You were never meant to live in apology to your past. Lift your head. The banner over you reads, Beloved, and beloved people win the wars that used to own them. Why blessings delay and how to return? If the river fell dry, it wasn't because heaven turned off the source, it was disconnection. We leaned on our own calculations, then wondered why joy tasted thin. The way back is not complicated. Return. Root yourself by the stream again. Prayer in the morning, integrity at noon, gratitude at night. Trees planted by water don't panic about drought, they draw deeper. Do the same. Name what you lost and hand it to the restorer. Watch how he threads restoration into ordinary days, clarity after confusion, provision after scarcity, tenderness replacing hardness where you didn't think softness could return. Your soul is not a problem to solve, it's a garden to rewater. Ask for a fresh flow. Open your Bible like a door, your schedule like a field. The blessing isn't withheld, it's waiting at the place of trust. Step there, and what was broken begins to mend, quietly, thoroughly, like spring working underground. Buffalo strength and seeing by faith. You are receiving a strength that does not bluff. Buffalo strength, steady and muscular, the kind that lowers its head against the wind and keeps going. Don't grade your future by today's weather. Sight will tell you impossible. Faith will ask, what if? Speak blessing in the middle of the mess. Over the bill due, the diagnosis pending, the relationship on thin ice. Blessing is not denial, it's alignment with a truer timeline. Trials are the kiln where faith hardens into something useful. Let the heat form, not deform you. Bring your plans to the altar before you bring them to the boardroom. Here's what I hope. Here's what I surrender. Then move, even if it's one obedient inch. Faith rarely arrives as a map. It arrives as a step. Take it. Your courage will grow by use. And when your eyes falter, borrow God's. He already sees you on the other side, waving you forward. daily return, and a God who knows. Come back morning and night like the tide, simple, honest, unperformed. Here I am. Here's what hurts. Here's what I hope. Nothing you carry is foreign to the one who formed you. He knows the ache behind the strong face, the exhaustion behind competence, the sentence you couldn't say out loud. Let him hold it. Build small anchors, a verse on your dashboard, a breath prayer in traffic, a 5-minute silence on the porch. These are not trivial. They are stitches that keep your days from unraveling. When decisions stack up, ask for wisdom you can recognize. Peace that doesn't need permission, conviction that isn't cruel, a nudge that doesn't nag. Heaven is not indifferent to your calendar. Angels keep their posts. Mercy takes notes. If you feel unseen, remember, being known by God is deeper than being noticed by people. Rest in that knowing, then live from it, lighter, clearer, more brave. Unlimited mercy, alchemy of pain. God's love does not ration forgiveness. When you run out of good explanations, grace doesn't. Bring the heavy bag, the resentment you rehearsed, the regret you kept like an heirloom, the self-accusation you mistook for humility. Lay it down. In storms, don't argue the weather. Find the companion. He is peace in motion, steadying your breath, slowing your pulse, putting courage back where panic lived. Pain is not the end of your story. Under God's hand, it becomes raw material for compassion. You will speak gentler because you've needed gentleness. You will listen longer because someone finally listened to you. This is not weakness, it's wisdom learned the hard way. Forgiveness cuts the rope tethering you to the worst moment. Mercy turns losses into seed. And when you feel too tired to try again, say the shortest prayer, hold me. You'll find yourself standing, not because you're strong, but because love is. Today is the day of release. There's a line you can cross today, and it is not dramatic, it's decisive. Leave the museum of old failures. Stop paying rent in rooms you no longer live in. Release the soundtrack of should have and too late. Freedom is practical. An apology sent, a subscription canceled, a number blocked, a journal page torn out and thrown away. In God's love, the verdict has changed, forgiven, restored, welcomed. Walk like it. When accusation revisits, don't host it. When shame knocks, answer with gratitude. Thank you for new mercies even now. Your past can be a teacher without being a warden. If you need a ritual, do this. Inhale grace, exhale release. Repeat until your shoulders drop. This is not pretending, it's agreeing with truth. Let the present open, like a window you forgot could move. Feel the air. Say, I'm ready. And begin again, not from zero, but from mercy. The anchor and the lighthouse. Love is not a weather pattern. It's an anchor that holds when the bottom drops out, a lighthouse that finds you in fog. You do not have to be fearless to be safe. You only have to be held. When uncertainty swells, tie your heart to what doesn't move, the character of God, good, faithful, near. Watch how healing arrives, not always in fireworks, often in steady light. Sleep that finally comes, laughter that returns unannounced, a tenderness in places you thought would stay numb. Restoration is God's native language. He rebuilds without wasting rubble, repurposes what tried to ruin you, writes beauty into margins you left blank. Lift your eyes to the long horizon. Destiny here isn't hype, it's home, the place where your gifts serve freely and your soul feels unafraid. Let the anchor keep you, let the lighthouse guide you, and sail on. There's more shore ahead than storm behind. Living loved, walking on mission. Trust is not passive, it's a way of moving through the world. Lean into grace like a harness, and you'll discover the greatest adventure was not out there, it was with God here. In this love, The impossible softens, promises take shape, and your life stops apologizing for being meaningful. Walk daily like someone commissioned. Notice the person in front of you. Bless the room you enter. Add courage where fear is trending. Let your plans be pencils and God's will the steady hand. When you stumble, don't dramatize. Confess, receive, continue. You are complete in the love that claims you, whole, not because you fixed everything, but because you were embraced before you improved. From that security, take holy risks. Build, reconcile, create, serve. The world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your presence, awake and aligned. Step forward loved, and you will find the path rising to meet your